Good day everyone. Today we're going to have a look at the Edifice ECB 900. This specific one is the ECB 900 GL1ADR. I've just got it in. Let's have a look at some of the features and what I like about this particular watch. Okay, so the Casio Edifice ECB 900. There's a few different models of the ECB 900. This particular one has the gold bezel and the leather strap. They come with a steel strap or a rubber strap as well, and a couple of different colors for the face. I was quite drawn to this watch because it does have the tough solar. I like the dual screens for telling us the date and the day, and I do like the fact that both screens light up when we push the LED button. There's quite a lot of functionality that's very similar to the G-Shock series in a bit more of a professional package here, and we do have the ability to connect to our phone via Bluetooth, as we can see there. Connecting to the phone gives us functions like 300 different cities for our world time. We can also calibrate the time to the phone, and we can use Find My Phone features. If we hold down this button here, we can use Find My Phone, which is very helpful once you're connected to the Bluetooth. So let's have a look at some of them features and get started. Okay, so the first function we'll have a look at is the Bluetooth function. It's a bit of a big deal. It's got its advertising all over it, and it has a little Bluetooth symbol on the inside of the face there. So we hold this button down on the dedicated Bluetooth button. It'll beep and say connect. Basically means it's looking for a signal to connect to your phone. We need Bluetooth and location turned on our phone, and we do need the Edifice or Casio app to do that. Once we've connected, we can set our time through the phone. We can set from the 300 cities selected. We can also store lap time data from the stopwatch, and we can also use the phone for getting accurate speed data through the tachometer if you want to do that. It also has the handy function of Find My Phone. So once you're connected, we hold this button down here, and it will send a notification to the phone, and the phone will tell us, hopefully, if it's in earshot, where it is. We're not being connected at the moment. It just tells us our world time. We're in Hong Kong time zone. We go back to our time. But that's the button we press and hold to use the Find My Phone feature. Okay, next up, we'll have a look at the home screen. On the home screen here, you can see we have the date and the day, which we can change if we press this button here. It goes to the time and the seconds. It also tells us in the sub window here on the left that we have this signal on and the alarm is active. We can choose from 5 alarms, and we can turn the signal on and off. Our little sub dial here will tell us our battery gauge, so a little bit under full there. Now that'll drop if we leave it in the dark, especially if it's not in power saving mode. And that also works as a tachometer for speed once we're using the stopwatch. We also have world time, alarm, and timer. Now that little sub dial will point to those when we are in that function. Other than that, we just have seconds, minutes, and hours like we would on any other watch, and we'll move on to the next function. Okay, just before moving on to the stopwatch, I will mention that if we hold down this light button and push this one here, the hands will move out of the way so you can read the 3 sub dials. Now that's not unique to Casio watches or to G-Shock, but this watch does have that function. So if they're ever in the way of your sub dials, hold down the light button, push this one, and they'll move out the way. When we move into the stopwatch, they'll come back to where they should be. If we just give them a second, there we go. Now the stopwatch itself, we have a sub dial here on the left for our hours and minutes, and the sub dial on the top is for our split seconds. If we push this button here, it will begin. If we push this button here, it'll stop it. And if we push this button again, it'll clear everything. Now, if we are going to be running laps, we need to push this button here to start, and that will start recording our time. Now we can push it here to stop, and we can restart with this button if we just want to stop and pause or keep going. But if we push this button here, say we get to 10 seconds, push this button here at 11 seconds, it'll record that as a lap, and we can either push this button here to record the next one, or we can resume. So there we go, we resume at 15. Let's say we did another lap there. That'll tell us the next one, and then so on and so forth. The next one took 3 seconds. The next one took another 3 seconds. We wait a little bit longer. We can say the next lap took 4 seconds, and we can resume, and we can keep going if we do that. So we've got 37 seconds total. If we then stop and we clear it, we go to our next function. This will be a recording of all the different lap times. So if we have lap number 1 here in the top sub dial, push this button here, tells us how long that lap took, 11 seconds, 0.179. We can then go to lap 2, and we can look at how long each lap took us. Another 10 seconds. Lap 3, we knew they took 3 seconds, we saw that. Lap 4, and that's all recorded on the phone, and we can check that out on the app as well. So if we go back to the stopwatch now, and we wish to clear those times, jump into stopwatch, start a new time, and we go stop, reset, and that just clears everything. We never recorded a lap because we never pushed this button. So every time we push this button, it'll record it as a lap, and it'll tell us just how long each lap took. Now if we were to go to record, 000, there are no records of any laps. That's how we zero out that function. But that's pretty much how the stopwatch works here. It's a little bit more functionality than a regular stopwatch because we do have the ability to not only do our split times for our laps, but it'll also record them for us so we can go back and check just how many laps we've done and how long each one took. So basically we push this button here to start, push it for each individual lap, and push this one twice to reset it. We can reset it once we've recorded them, and it will remember them until we do a total reset like we did there on the stopwatch. Okay, next function here, after the lap function, we've seen how that works and records our laps, and we know how to zero it. We jump in here, and we've got a timer, just like any other Casio watch. We have a timer here. It's preset to 10 minutes. We hold down this button here, it says set. We can change that to 1 hour, 10 minutes. We can change it to, that'll go backwards, that'll go forwards. We can change it here to 11 minutes, whatever we want to do. Work our way through. We can even set the seconds if we really want to. But basically that's just a basic timer. Once we set how we want it, we push this button again. Cool, we want 10 minutes. Push this button here and it'll start counting down, and there'll be an alarm at the end of it to tell us that that is all over. Push this one here to stop it. We push it again to reset this top left, same as the stopwatch. That's preset to 10 minutes, pretty straightforward, but that's how the timer works on this particular watch. Okay, next up, let's have a look at the alarm feature on this watch. Now, it has 5 different alarms with a signal alarm as well. We can see here, this one is currently set for 4:50 p.m. and it is switched off. We push this button here, it switches it on, and we get the little marker to say that there is alarm active. There's a little function on this watch that is quite good and sets them apart from different Casios and other watches of this sort of price range. Is we've set the alarm here for 4:50. Now we can scroll through and we can set the minutes, use these two here for the minutes, and we can go again and we can then set it for a scheduled alarm, a daily alarm, which is for every day, or a one-time alarm where we set it for one time, it goes off, and then it never goes off again. If we go back to schedule alarm here and we select it with this button here, we have the year, 2024. We can scroll through to the month, which is the 7th, being July, and the 21st, which hasn't happened yet. And we can say, yep, that's the date we want to set the alarm. So on the 21st of the 7th, 2024, the alarm will go off at 4:50, and we can schedule ahead of time that we have an alarm set for a special occasion or wherever it's going to be, and we can schedule it in. It'll go off and then it won't go off again. We can still turn the alarm on and off, but it'll be on and only for the 21st of July, or we can set it as a daily and all them other ones as we saw. We scroll through the alarms here. We've got alarm number 2, 3, 4, 5, and the signal. Of course, we can turn the signal on and off just with this button here. Quite a handy little feature to have scheduled, daily, and one-time alarms, and the Edifice ECB 900 does have that function. Okay, and the final function in that row is world time. So we push this button here and it tells us our capital city that we're looking at. We can scroll through all the different capital cities here. It'll only go forward. The light is now this button. Once we pick the capital city we want, we can push this button and it will tell us the time, AM or PM, of that particular capital city. World time, just like any other watch. And the last function will go back to the home screen. We'll have a look next at how to set the time. Okay, next up we have how to set the time. So on the home screen, we hold this button down here. We have set flashing on the sub dial, and then it will go and tell us our capital city. So we can set our capital city first, set our time relative to the capital city. So Hong Kong is good for us. Push this button here, we have auto, that's auto daylight savings time. We have the seconds, we have the hours and the minutes as we scroll through. If we go again, we have the year. We can then set the month, the day. We can choose between 24-hour and 12-hour clock. And this function here I quite like a lot. We have day, month, which we can display the day first, then the month, like I have it currently, or we can display the month and the day. Depends what sort of country you're living in and what you're used to, but I like having the day first. So very good functionality there. I haven't seen that on a Casio watch where you can actually flip the day and the month around, which is very good. If we go to the next one, we have ENG, which means English. So we can choose between many different languages. Have a look. We've got Spanish, French, Dutch, Italian, not sure, and English. So we go back. Okay, we're happy with English. That's what we're going to be using. Key with the sound symbol there basically means the keys make a noise. So they beep when we push them. We can turn that on or off. Auto lights, basically when you tilt the watch, does the light automatically turn on or off? We've got that currently off. And the 3 for light basically is how long the light stays illuminated. So we've got 1 second or 3 seconds as our option. We've got the receiver turned off, and we turn the power saving mode on or off. So basically, being a solar watch, when it's in the dark for long enough, the hands and the dials will turn off. It'll still keep time, but it will enter power saving mode. So we've got that function on, which is always good if the watch is to be stored for a long time. And then we'll go back to our capital city. That's back to the start. We press this button once we're okay with everything and return to normal timekeeping mode. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this does have the dual LED. So let's see how good it looks in the dark. Just darken this light down a bit. And it's a very bright LED, and it does quite light up the sub-dials very well. I'm actually very happy with that. The 2 hands, as you can see now, they do glow in the dark, especially once you've had the light on a few times. They get a nice glow about them. But yes, a very good and very functional LED on the sub-dials and on the face as well. I'm very happy with that. All right, that's it on the wrist. My wrist measures around about 17.5 centimeters. Looks good, doesn't stand off too much, and it's not too heavy either. Okay, well that is the ECB 900. It's a very good looking watch, sub $300 watch, even less if you can get it on sale. You get the benefits of solar, you get the dual LEDs and lots of functionality for a pretty good price. Thank you very much for watching.